Let's do some trivia. And Ian, like I said, stay as long as you can. Question number 1. We'll start with a Night Court question. In Night Court, a picture of which famous actress hangs on Judge Stone's office wall? And don't answer anybody yet. We'll let folks in the chat answer a little bit and throw their best guesses out, whether it's Helen Hunt, Jane Mansfield, Jean Harlow, or Marilyn Monroe. And then it's instead of asking you all, because we're going to try to get through this a little quicker tonight than we normally do, I'm just going to ask if any one of you guys know the answer to this question, and we'll have you guys, as you know.
One of the last two, Jean Harlow or Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I think it's Jean Harlow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll concur with Steve.
Ian's nodding his head as well.
I'll go with that for sure.
Let's see what the correct answer is. Jean Harlow. Nice job, guys. Nice job.
Team effort. We're going to make it.
Yep. We will. We'll make it.
We get to pull together tonight rather than...
That's right. Well, I'm trying to remove the adversarial relationship that I've created with these trivia competitions. Question number 2. What is the name of the bird-like warrior that Buck Rogers encountered during season 2? And if you watch Rick and Morty, his name's Bird Guy or Birdman. I can't remember what they call him, but in the original incarnation, he had a name. It's either Eagle Eye Cherry, Hawk, the Falcon, or Robin.
It was Hawk.
Number 2.
Hawk. Yep.
Hawk. Okay.
I think he was called Mr. Spock 2.
He was very much. Tom Christopher was the actor, right? Tom Christopher, and he was very much. It felt like he was created to be, create that similar dynamic, Kirk Spock dynamic with Buck Rogers and Hawk.
Boy, we better be right.
You are correct. Nicely done, gentlemen. Nicely done. Question 3 out of 10, and hold your answers, esteemed panelists, until we get through this. What type of car did Bo and Luke drive in the Dukes of Hazzard? Was it a Chevy Camaro, a Dodge Charger, a Ford Mustang, or a Porsche 911? Probably not the last one. Probably not the last one, okay?
That Porsche one makes me laugh, obviously.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it was the Charger, baby. It was the Charger.
Isn't it? I said Porsche. It's Porsche, right?
I've heard it pronounced both ways. Porsche.
Mustang.
I'm much more. Yeah, I can do a better job pronouncing those other 3 vehicles. All right, giving folks just a second or 2 more, and then, guys, which one is it?
Charger, I believe.
Charger. General Lee was a Charger.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see how folks are doing. Al Oduardi is 2 of 3. Rob Bacon is 3 of 3. Nice job, Rob. John McJunkin is 3 of 3. Mr. Led is 3 of 3. Lance Chaffin, I'm going with Chaffin, is 3 of 3. Did we get that up there? The old stream is having a hard time. Carl Smith must have joined us. Ladies, 1 of 1. Tyrell is 2 of 3. Cindy D is 3 for 3. Let's see who else we have here. Lamont Bradford's 3 of 3. I'm going to forego putting them up on the screen because things are slowing down a little bit. Butch Chump is 2 of 3. Story Comic, 3 of 3. Hey, it's great to have Story Comic with us this evening. Another great YouTube site, folks. Barney's his name. Don't know his last name. I probably do if I go back and look at the emails. But Barney, every week, interviews some amazing folks, and really has. There's some other videos if you dig deep on Barney's channel where he's like singing with his wife in the car. Classic stuff, good stuff. Really enjoyed those, and they're short. They're like Pat's appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, a couple minutes and you walk away and you feel just a little bit better because of it. Emily Miller's 2 of 3, Daryl Johnston's 3 of 3, Carl Smith's 2 of 1. I'm really getting confused, Carl, on your score. Greg McLaughlin is 3 of 3, TJ 921 Abel's 2 of 3, Georgia Ayers, welcome, good to have you here. Georgia 2 of 3, Tammy Patton 3 of 3, Kenneth Wilkinson's 1 of 3, Tom McCluskey, Hungry Jerk 3 of 3, Lee Banning's 2 of 3, and who else have we got here? Anyone else? Jimmy C. Marvel Man 1000 is 2 of 3, and Danny says it's too darn easy. He's got all 3 so far too. Let's keep moving then. Let's see if they get any harder. Question 4. What is the name of Mrs. Garrett's sister who joined the Facts of Life during the final 2 seasons? Is it Beverly Ann Stickle, Emily Mahoney, Molly Parker, or Nancy Olson? Hold your answers for a second, fellers, while we let folks think through this. And while we're waiting, I'm going to say thank you to Greg McLaughlin, another super fan. Thank you so much, Greg. Really, really appreciated that membership. It really means a lot to me. I love the super chats, and I really do. I mean, how can you not love these kind of expressions of support for the channel? But that is just because it allows me to engage everybody at a higher level, those folks that do that. So thank you so much for joining. Now, back to the question at hand. What is the correct answer? Does anybody know?
Beverly
Ann Stickle.
We're teaming up on this, right, guys?
Yeah. Beverly Ann Stickle. You guys are going to end up being 10 of 10 with you working together. I have a good feeling about things. Who played Beverly Ann Stickle? Anybody remember?
Cloris Leachman. Was it Cloris Leachman?
Yeah, there's not getting anything by Ian tonight.
Sorry, I just blurted it out. I'm like on Jeopardy. Like, what is Cloris Leachman?
Answer in the form of a question from now on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Which actor asked that? Here it is, Pat. This is it. Which actor asked that they no longer be considered for an Emmy Award for their work on Night Court? Was it Harry Anderson, John LaRoquette, Marky Post, or Richard Mull? And we'll wait a second, but Pat, I'll let you go ahead and share the answer on this one, since I very rudely cut you off earlier as you were starting to talk about this.
No, I felt like I ruined it. Actually, I'm sorry.
No, that the only person that ruins my trivia is Tracy Roth Myers, and she knows that all's forgiven on that. Tracy, I hope you know I'm joking and love having you on the live streams. But you were so apologetic when you did that a couple weeks ago. Tracy shared the answer to one of the trivia questions early, and I actually loved that the way it all played out. Pat, what's the correct answer?
It was John LaRoquette.
Yeah.
And you won 4 consecutive years in a row for Best Comedic Performance. And as I was saying a little earlier, before I realized this was going to be a question, he held the record for the most wins consecutively, to the point where he was actually, of course, I wasn't there with him, and I don't know exactly what his motivation was, but it seemed out of modesty he wanted to be taken off the list because he was just cleaning up, and I think it got a little uncomfortable for him, which shows he was a very humble man in real life, and gotta love stories like that. You just do.
I do. You have been a wealth of stories like this tonight. First Susan Lucci, and now John LaRoquette. That just really a classy move. When how many times can you win it before you feel badly and want to give others the chance to, even if say he didn't win it any other time. I think he recognized that he would be nominated and was taking up a spot that someone else could have, because many actors consider that nomination just to be a win in and of itself. So by removing his name completely, he allowed other people to be recognized for their work, and I thought it was a real classy move as well.
It's used in bios as much as Oscar nominee, Emmy nominee. the band that I was with actually won an Emmy, so we're actually able to say Emmy winners, which is, boy, it's very valuable to be able to say either you're a winner or nominated, or I've won so many times I don't even want to be in the running. Thank you. That kind of thing. That's stellar. And that was John Larroquette for sure.
Yeah. Great guy. I put bonus question, which will give you anybody a bonus point. If you've fallen behind, if you're not at 5 of 5, here is your chance to get a bonus point. Who is this star? I put 70s edition, but he's an 80s star. Was a 70s star as well. Who is this star? Now, this is where you guys, you're not going to lose points. You can still be 10 of 10. But this is where this might be tough. I'm gonna quickly scan the community to see if anybody can tell who it is.
Please.
Someone said Kurt Russell. No, it's not Kurt Russell.
Boy, that's tough.
Yeah. Story Comics said Dave Sundstrom, not Dave Sundstrom. Although, that head of hair there, I was going to say that looks like my head of hair that I had when I was a teenager, but no, that's a lie too. Steve, speaking of head of hair, I really like your haircut you got going on tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, got it done today.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Is this a comedic actor, Dave, or? I know I'm asking for hints.
It is not well, here's the thing about this actor. He has been in, it's not Kurt Russell. Good guess, though, Lee. It's not Dave Sundstrom. Good guess, Barney. Let me see if there's other guesses on here. It's not Stephen King. It's not Ricky Schroeder. It's not J.M.J. Bullock. That's a good guess. This guy was a comedic actor first, but then moved into less comedic hour-long drama, a big-time hour-long drama in the late 70s through the 80s. Jeff Goldblum's another guest. Don Johnson's a great guest. Ed Begley, Harry Anderson.
JR?
You are
the guy who plays JR?
Larry Hagman.
Oh, man.
Larry Hagman. Well done. You guys do get the bonus point. Ian got it. Nicely done.
Took me a second.
Yeah.
Do you know who Larry's mother was?
She was Peter Pan.
That's right, Mary Martin.
Yeah.
Mary Martin. Am I right, folks? Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Martin. I was drawing a blank on her name, but between the two of us, we got it. What famous actress made a guest appearance on General Hospital, Pat, when Luke and Laura got married? Yeah, we'll let one of the other two answer. Was it Debbie Reynolds, Doris Day, Elizabeth Taylor, or Kate Hepburn?
My guess would be Elizabeth Taylor.
Are you answering it or are you guessing it?
Totally
if you answer and it's wrong, then you've blown it for the entire three of you.
Ian, what do you think?
Oh, now you're gonna.
Look, I'm lost on this one. Yeah.
Do you guys want to phone a friend, or do you?
I think the friend we need to phone is Pat.
That's right.
Emmy award-winning Pat McCormick.
Hello.
Yes. Pat. Hey, I'm on Dave Sundstrom's show, and the question is, no, go ahead. Sorry.
It's Elizabeth Taylor, and one of the classic outtakes is of Tony Geary, who played Luke on the Luke and Laura era, walking on set to do his line and just blowing his line, and going, "It's Elizabeth Taylor!" And it was just one of those moments where just amazing.
Yeah. Emily says it was a big deal at the time. It was a huge deal to have Elizabeth Taylor on that show. She was a huge fan of the show, and so great to have her on it. And it was so much fun. That whole Luke and Laura phenomenon that was going on in the early '80s. It was just, that was the icing on the cake to have Elizabeth Taylor on there, as she was married to the bad guy. What was his name? oh my goodness, I can't remember he was going to freeze the world. I forget the bad guy. He was the evil, mad scientist kind of bad guy on the show.
Hey, Dave, might I mention that around the same time, you permed your hair to look like Luke's?
That is true. And that's why I'm bald.
Oh, we got to see a picture of that, Dave. We have
Yeah.
to.
He had the frizzy, kind of frizzed out hair.
It's true. I had a couple girls tell me that I look
In case
like
anybody's curious,
Anthony Geary.
I'm not bald under this hat, so you know.
And I would continue to perm my hair for the next 4 or 5 years, that's not good. Cassadine, that's it. Miklos Cassadine, that's the name.
Yep.
Yeah, and Cindy D points out that there's that great song that they played by Christopher Cross throughout that whole time. They would play Think of Laura whenever Laura was on the screen. There was a point, particularly where Laura disappeared for a while and Luke would be looking for her, and that Think of Laura music would come on. Great stuff. Great stuff. Hey, let's see scores. We've got 6 questions in with a bonus point. How are folks doing? You can't be 7 for 7. You can be 7 for 6, Cindy D. 7 for 6. That can be your score. Who else is in that camp? Throw your score in the chat. TJ921 Abel says, I need to put a wig on and show everybody. One of these days, maybe I'll try to track down a picture. Yes, there was a point where I had hair and a little less fat all over the face. Things were a little bit tighter back in the old days. Let's see what we got going on here. We got Story Comic, who's 5 of 6. Greg McLaughlin's 5 of 6. Daryl Johnston is 6 of 6. Mr. Led 6 of 7. Carl Smith is 4 of 2. John Collins is 4 of 6. Georgia Ayers is 5 of 7. Tom McCloskey is 6 of 6. Cindy D says, oh darn, 6 for 6 then, Dave? Well, you could be 7 for 6 if you got the bonus point correct. John McJunkin is 6 for 7 or 6. I'm getting confused now too. Let's just keep moving on. Oh, Lee Banning wants to know, Stephen, if you and I are twins.
No, we're not. 7 years, Lee.
So the next question is, who's older?
Oh, ouch. Or not ouch. Or
Yeah, I'm older. I'm 7 years older than Stephen and than Steve, and I don't often get mistaken for being a young person. As a matter of fact, there was a point a few years back where I went to pick up, when my youngest son was in kindergarten, I went to pick him up from kindergarten, and the teacher said, Evan, that's my youngest son, Evan, your grandpa's here to get you. Oh, can you believe that? Oh my gosh, I know. Hurtful. I'd share her name. I will. I was going to say I'm a classier guy, but Mrs. Robinson, that was really rude of you to do. Okay, let's keep moving. Which of these best describes the sitcom Family Ties? Ian, you can't answer this one. You'll be the lifeline. You'll be the lifeline they call if they need it. Hip parents, square kids. Hip family, square town. Square parents, hip kids. Square town, hip family. Which of these best describes the sitcom Family Ties? Stephen or Pat, if either of you know the answer, feel free to share it.
It's number 1.
Yeah, it's number 1. Although I wouldn't say that all the kids were square.
Yeah, I think they're leaning more towards Michael J. Fox as the square,
Right.
but it's really, they were just more politically different than.
That's why it says best describes. It doesn't say perfectly describes.
Oh, there you go.
Best describes. Of the 4 choices, that is the best description.
Right.
Well done. Let's keep moving. Question 8 out of 10. What is Bull's middle name on Night Court? Is it Aristotle, Da Vinci, Nostradamus, or Plato?
I think I actually know this one.
Answer, let's let folks kind of let folks kind of answer the question in the chat for a second. And Steve, I got to tell you, watching your video, I'm disappointed that Richard Mole doesn't want anything to do with the reboot.
I know. I was disappointed too.
Maybe someone can talk some sense into him.
Well,
Did you guys already talk about the reboot or no?
A little bit in that Steve did a video on the reboot. It's
I watched that today.
Yeah. Thoughts, Ian?
Oh, I am looking forward to it. I like the lead character, who played Bernadette on Big Bang Theory. I adore her.
She's great.
And I am looking forward to it. It's one of those things, I mean, everybody's got their own personal taste, but you're just kind of holding on, like this could be great or this could be awful, and I'm leaning toward it could be great. They'd have to really kind of mess it up for it to be awful. Of course, it's not outside the realm of possibilities. You think of things that they couldn't possibly mess that up, and they do. But I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I was reading the comments, Steve, and the only way that I think they could mess it up, and granted, Dan Fielding is older, he's probably mellower, but if he's completely PC and they've neutered the man.
That comment did come up. Yes, that concern was raised in your comment section, and that would be a real travesty. Despite the fact that Dan Fielding will be an older character, that some of the acerbic abrasiveness, but still kind of finding a way to be lovable, it's got to still be able to come through. Totally
agree. Old Dan. He's a dirty old man or dirty old?
He better still be a bit of a dirty old man. He better be. The correct answer, anyone want to give a guess on this one?
Aristotle. Oh, is it Nostradamus?
Where are you guys going with this?
Well, Steven just did a video, so I mean, I'm going to go with what he said. I think Aristotle's in his name or something. But if you say it's Nostradamus,
you be the tiebreaker here.
We got to go with you, Steven. I mean, you just did the video on it. It was uploaded today. Okay.
Perfect. I was going to say that too.
I hope Ian, sometimes you got to go with your gut, and then sometimes you got to listen to other people. So good work. Nostradamus it's Aristotle Nostradamus. Shannon. So they're both right. Just the middle name is Nostradamus. All right. Question 9 out of 10. When we get to the end, I'll get everybody's scores. We're just going to kind of work through this since the live stream has ran a bit longer than anticipated. In Airwolf, what famous actor co-starred as flight engineer Dominic Santini? Right there alongside the great Jan Michael Vincent. Rest his soul. Let's see. I'm going to just look in the comment section to see. Emily, did you meet anyone? And Lance Chapman is asking Emily if she's met anyone famous. And Emily says no, that she is not aware of meeting anyone famous. But Georgia Ayers has met William Shatner. That would be huge. I would enjoy meeting William Shatner. I would be worried that he might brush me off, because I've heard stories. But
did she met Shatner, or that's their guess on the question?
Oh, wait, that's the guess on the question. Never mind. She didn't.
You're about to open up a whole nother subject.
Yeah. But you were shaking your head about Shatner. Are you telling me that he's more approachable than that?
Well, I think it's I think it's about timing. But the 2 times that I talked to him, he was very nice.
That's awesome.
So I was very happy about that too, because if he wasn't, I would have been shattered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would have been Shatner shattered. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what kind of occasion would you run into a William Shatner, Pat?
Well, it was Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. Oh, okay. At the tables, yeah.
Yeah, Silicon Valley Comic-Con specifically, and I paid for a photo op, and it was. Don't think I wasn't going to say something to him. And it was one of those, it was like he had no problems stopping and conversing with me, very shortly. Something about how beautiful he thought my wife was. I have the same problem with Adam West. Honestly. Guys, you know why they do these Comic Cons. It doesn't. Anyway.
That is awesome. Well, that's just a great compliment to your wife.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So, correct answer was, fellers?
Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, Borgnine. Yeah, absolutely. Last question of the evening. Which of these shows did not make its debut during the 90s? Was it Airwolf, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, or Night Court?
You mean the 80s?
Yeah, did I say 90s? 80s, yes. Which of these shows did not make its debut during the 80s? Airwolf, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, or Night Court?
Well, I know this one. Hands down, I know this one.
Okay, good.
But I'll wait.
Wait for just a minute here. Someone said they were at that same convention. Oh, Hungry Jerk, Tom McCluskey was at that same convention and visited with Chad. You guys could have been in line together, Pat.
It was a big line, so that's possible.
That is entirely possible. And John McJunkin points out that Shatner was hilarious on SNL when he did that whole sketch with the Trekkies.
Oh, he's one of the funniest speakers there is. I mean, he is hilarious and can be spontaneous, off the cuff. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely worth it. Every time you get an opportunity to see him speak, you will be laughing. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, the consummate performer, right?
Yeah.
Always on. All right, Ian, you want to give the answer?
Dukes of Hazzard. I got to stay up and watch it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's how I know. And I was just it was a big deal. Friday night, I got to stay up for a whole extra hour to watch Dukes of Hazzard. So definitely that was in the 70s and the rest of them came out in the 80s.
Yeah, so it was late 70s. I can't remember if it was 79 or 78, but late 70s, the Dukes made its debut. And boy, did I enjoy Friday nights as well. You had Incredible Hulk and Dukes of Hazzard. I wouldn't hang on for Dallas, but I sure did enjoy those other two shows as a young teenager. In my case, I was a little bit older than you guys. All right, let's see final scores as we peruse and we look at a great picture of Christine Sullivan from the Night Court days. Let's get some scores here. Al Oduardi was 80%, not bad. Greg McLaughlin was 9 out of 10. Let's see who else we have. Dave Neesner was 7 out of 10. Georgia Ayers was 6 out of 10. Whoops. Let's see. Lee Banning was 5 of 10. Matt Sweeney was 8 of 10. Emily Miller, 10 of 10. Good job, Emily. Kenneth Wilkinson was 4 of 10. Tyrell was 9 of 10. Always expecting Tyrell to be up there near the top. Lee Banning points out that John Schneider has his own YouTube channel. Yes, he's a very prolific poster on that channel. John Collins was 8 out of 10. And he says, I thought all the questions were going to be Night Court related. My apologies. Trust me, John, on the trivia channel, there will be a video that will drop in the next day or two with all Night Court related questions. I'll be interested to see how you do. The other John McJunkin got 8 out of 10. Lamont, if I didn't say your score, you got 8 of 10. Tom McCluskey was 9 of 10. Cindy D was 8 for 10. Daryl Johnson was 9 of 10. Lisa Fields was 9 of 10. Let's see, Danny got them all except for the Larry picture. So you were perfect. That was a bonus question, so you did it. You got 10 of 10. Nice job. Dolph Quick says, what? I got them all right? Hot diggity dang. I changed that at the end there too. But hot diggity dang, he got them all right tonight. Ed Myers was a 5 of 10. Spike Spikerson only got 1 right, but something tells me he might have just been enjoying the conversation. And Lance Chaffin, 9 of 10. Cindy Roy says, great job, guys. And I would echo that comment. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Ian, it's been great that you've been able to have you stick around with us.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
And yes. I will give everybody an opportunity to just maybe spend 30 seconds talking about your channel before we go, and then I'll remind everybody that the links to all of these channels will be found in the description field of this live stream. So if you go back and watch the live stream later on, you'll find these links to go to all of these channels, and definitely click and subscribe. Steve, you can go first. You're right below me. Go ahead. We'll work our way down.
Yeah, my channel's just Stephen Sundstrom. I talk about movies, TV shows, music from the kind of the 80s and 90s. Generally is more where I talk about. Occasionally go down into the 70s. But yeah, just my name, Stephen Sundstrom.
Great. And latest video was on Night Court. What was the one before that? Fonzie, right?
Yeah, Fonzie.
All right, Pat, you're up next.
Oh, well, I'm Pat McCormick. The channel is Golden Rage of TV. My series is Retro TV Trivia. I'm on my 3rd season, so I'm well underway. Got plenty more to go and plenty more to do, and there's just a never-ending well of information to dive into with this stuff, and it's all interesting and it's all fun. And thanks to my inspirational buddies here, I'm going to keep going. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I need subscribers too. Did I say that? Yeah, I better say that.
Here's the deal. Pat is very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of a milestone when it comes to your work and being a creator here on YouTube. I'm going to make a prediction that Pat will be to 1,000 by the time. I'm going to be bold and say within the next 2 months, Pat is going to be over the 2,000 or the 1,000 subscriber mark. So good things happen to good people and great YouTube creators, and Pat is definitely one of them. Ian, you're up.
Yeah, retro serial. I do 3 kinds of videos now. I do longer form interview videos, which I've had all these gentlemen on talking about 80s, 90s, and 70s, growing up, Generation X, and then I do kind of shorter videos, which are more YouTube related, and the longer form you can also find on any podcast form. So if you're out there and you're driving around, you want to listen to podcasts, and you want to listen to something about growing up, Generation X, retro serial on there. And then the newest ones I'm doing, the 3rd kind of videos that I'm doing are live streaming, and we're live streaming pretty much every week. Going to be doing one on music next week, and just kind of it's a lot of fun. I kind of have a rough outline of where I'm going, but I let people kind of guide the conversation. I do a lot of Q&A, and so these gentlemen are all going to be on at some point too, if I can snag them. And I'm going to be doing one really soon, which I'm going to need some help with, and that is lessons I learned from watching TV. And I'm just going to let people call in, or not call in, but type in and ask, questions and share their stories about lessons they learned from watching TV, because I know I learned a lot of lessons growing up watching TV. So thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you. Got to get going. Take care.
Thanks.
Take care, Ian.
Thanks, Ian. All right, and one final thank you, and that's to everybody that was part of this conversation tonight. Steve and Pat, great to have you here, and to everybody. I mean, we had so many people on the live stream tonight, and just the conversation that's there. Here's what I get to do now. I love going back and I rewatch the live stream, but I don't really watch the screen. What I'm doing is I'm listening to kind of our conversation, but I'm reading the chat and following along, and it's one of my favorite things to do after we're done, because the conversation, I'm not able to keep track of the conversation the way I would like to if I were not an active participant in the live stream. So this will be my opportunity to go back and read what you all had to say and just kind of see the camaraderie. That's the thing I love the most. And of course, the replay will be available for everybody to watch after the fact. If you want to join me and watch it again, feel free to do so. But more than anything else, thank you to everyone. And just have a great week. Look forward to visiting with you again in the not too distant future. Have a good night, guys.